Hey, it's Mike, brew-dudes.com. So we've been talking a lot about kegging and bottling and homebrew beer. And the thing that we want to talk about now, we're going to lead into April, is how you go from this to this. How do you get to the point where you can serve your beer at a refrigerated unit on draft, ready to go anytime? The beauty of a draft system at home is that you can come home, you can pour yourself a full beer, and rather than open up another 22-ounce bottle, you can pour yourself 4 ounces, 2 ounces, another 16 ounces. The beauty of draft beer at home. So there's a lot of components that come together to make a draft beer system, but we wanted to start at the end. This is your end product. This is where you're going. And one of the first things to consider in having a home keg-rating system is whether or not you're going to have a chest freezer system like this, or whether you're going to go to an upright fridge or an upright freezer with thermostat control. They both have pros and cons. I chose a chest freezer. And one of the things I like about the chest freezer is, first and foremost, is when it's hot out, I'm out in my garage. When you open up the chest freezer, all that cold air sits inside that chest freezer. It doesn't just fall out of a fridge. When you open an upright fridge, all that cold air comes out. So energy efficiency can sometimes be an issue. The other thing that I like about a kegerator is that inside here, it's full of kegs. There's tubing everywhere. I used to have an upright, and I always found myself having to weed around through hoses that are on the door, hoses that are going into the kegs. Here, I can open up the top. I don't have hoses coming from the door and stuff like that. So it's a little more, I feel like it's a little more organized in here as in the chest freezer. The downside of a chest freezer is you've got to take 5-gallon kegs full of beer. You got to pick them up and get them up and over and put them inside here. Whereas in a regular fridge, it's just a couple feet off the floor. So if you've got back troubles, back problems, a lot of brewers they do. That is a concern for them. An upright is a better choice for them. One of the other things that I like about the chest freezer is that I don't have to drill holes in the door of a fridge. You can see here I've got this wooden collar. This is wooden. The top of the chest freezer is right about here, but I've taken the door off. I've mounted it on top of a wooden collar. That allows me to drill holes. I still have expansion here for 2 more taps to put my shanks and my faucets. We'll talk about those in the future. Right through there, and that way, if I ever want to convert this back to a chest freezer, I can just take the lid off, remove the collar, and put the lid back on top, and it's a freezer again. With an upright fridge, you drill holes in that door. There's really no way to put a collar on it. You're going to drill holes in the door. It's basically going to be a beer fridge all the time. You're not going to bring that back in your kitchen and say, look, honey, I have a new fridge for the house with holes in the door. Some people get really creative and they encase the whole chest freezer in wood and almost make it look like a bar. You can put a hole in the top of here and have a nice tower with faucets. So we're going to go through all the pieces that involved from getting your beer in a keg. What is a keg? What are the key components of a keg? How do you hook it up? How do you put gas on it? How do you carbonate? Then ultimately the final destination is what we're looking at right here, which is the ability to pour your draft right out of the kegerator. So join us for the journey. We're going to do 2 or 3 more videos about parts, and then we'll do one final video about how to get that perfect pour. So I'm Mike at brew-dudes.com. Join us for the journey. Brew on.